What is up guys, it's Tyson Brown here, and in today's video I'm going to be talking to you about my transformation through intermittent fasting. So a lot of my clients have been asking me lately, like, how did you lose so much weight? How did you do it so quickly? What were the best things that you found about it? And it was all came down to intermittent fasting. Now, the reason this is so easy for me is because I made sure that it worked, right? So I didn't just stick to it because I thought this is some new fad diet. I decided to give it a try because I wanted to see what type of results I could get. And what I found was intermittent fasting really worked for me because of the benefits of me being fuller for longer. So for me, I was always someone who I'd always struggle with trying to keep full after meals and things like that. So smaller meals never really did it for me. But then when I could find out that I could actually just put off eating during the day and then eat like later on during the day at bigger portion sizes, it really helped me. So as you guys can see in the transformation photo, that I went from 77 kilos down to 65 kilos. Now I lost a little bit more weight than I actually thought I would have. However, I did keep my muscle mass, and that's what I want to share with you guys today too. One of the best things about me doing intermittent fasting is that I was able to keep a lot of my muscle mass by focusing on my workouts too. So when it came to working out, I didn't just do what the typical people do, and that's why I've been able to maintain so much muscle mass. When I got my body fat done, I actually gained lean muscle while doing this, as opposed to losing muscle like a lot of people do. So the first thing I want to share with you guys is the things I did with intermittent fasting, right? What I would do every single time when it came to intermittent fasting, I made sure that I was fasting for at least 16 hours a day, and I would try and push it back for as long as possible. The further I pushed back my fasting, the easier it was for me during the day, because then that means I got to eat bigger portions towards dinner time, and then I would be like so full and I wouldn't be craving foods. So usually I would fast for about anywhere between 18 to 20 hours, depending on how I went. And then my first meal, I always made sure that it was straight after my workout too. Now the reason I have my first meal straight after my workout is because that is going to help prevent muscle loss and muscle breakdown. You want to make sure you're getting a good source of carbohydrates and a good source of protein as soon as you finish your workout. Never forget that, okay? You want to make sure you're fueling your body. You want to make sure you're building the damaged tissue you want to make sure you're repairing the damaged tissue you've just broken down during the workout. And the best way to do that is to have a huge post-workout meals full of simple carbohydrates and protein. That's tip number one. Another thing that I did when it came to making sure that I was always maintaining my muscle mass is if I had to do a morning workout because I was in a rush or because I just had a busy day, making sure that I supplemented with BCAAs. You need to make sure that you're preventing your muscle loss as much as possible, and one of the most important ways to do that is to supplement with BCAAs if you're not going to be able to eat a meal straight away. So if you had to train at 8 o'clock in the morning and you don't break your fast until 2 o'clock, well then you need to have some BCAAs before a workout and then BCAAs after a workout to prevent that muscle loss, okay? That's the second tip. So making sure you always need to be making sure you're preventing that muscle loss, because fat loss is going to come easily, but the muscle loss is what you do not want. After that, I made sure that every time I was training, this is really important for training, making sure that I was lifting heavy weights, not doing the typical bodybuilding approach. See, what I actually did was I was doing a strength training program at the start of my workout. So it would be like 5 sets of 5 for the bench press or 3 sets of 3 for squats, building up that base strength. Because if you want to think about this, I was 77 kilos, right? And I can squat 100 kilos. If I could still squat 100 kilos at 65, when I drop down to 65 kilos, which I can, that means I maintained most of my muscle mass because I've actually dropped that weight, but I can still move the same amount of weight for the exercise, right? Just think about someone who can squat 65 kilos, someone who can squat 100 kilos at 65 kilos, and someone who can squat 100 kilos at 70 kilos, means you've maintained that strength and muscle mass. So that's the key point when it comes to your training. Stick to lifting heavy weight and building up your strength, and then towards the end of your workout, you can do the lighter stuff. Because when you do like the more hypertrophy type of training, when you do like 15, 20 reps, 12, like 4 or 5 sets, all that type of stuff, there is a time and place for it. But if you're doing it during your workout, you're breaking down more and more muscle mass during that time because you're putting so much pressure under it. And if your body is in a calorie deficit, which is what you need to be in to be able to lose weight, and it can't repair all that muscle mass, well then you're going to lose it. So make sure that you're going to be doing your strength training and getting stronger. Being able to maintain what you can already do is going to be really, really helpful for keeping lean body mass, okay? Another thing I did is I made sure every single day I tracked my calories, guys. You've got to track your calories because it doesn't matter whether you're fasting. If you can binge, if you don't eat enough, you're going to lose too much muscle mass. If you binge, you're not going to lose fat. So you need to make sure you're tracking your macronutrients. Track your protein, track your carbohydrates, and track your fats. And that's the best way that I lost 12 kilos. Every single week I was losing weight consistently, focusing on just slow progress. And one of the best, most beneficial things I did fasted cardio. Every single morning I would go for a walk, 30 to 60 minutes, just to get that. I wouldn't do high intensity, I wouldn't do any of that stuff. I'd do high intensity during the day, but I would never do high intensity in the morning because another thing, if you do high intensity, you're going to be breaking down that muscle glycogen again. Sorry, you're going to be breaking down the glycogen and breaking down muscles. So make sure you do a little bit of fasted cardio. They're the biggest things that I got in being able to lose 12 kilos. So making sure that I was tracking my macronutrients, training with heavy weights, going against conventional wisdom, right? Making sure that I was always in a calorie deficit from tracking my macros, breaking my fast immediately after a workout, or taking BCAAs to be able to maintain my muscle mass. They are the most key determinant things for me to be able to lose 12 kilos. So if you want to get the free checklist on intermittent fasting, click the link down below and you've got everything you need to know there. How long to fast for, how to avoid losing muscle, how everything is going to be so helpful for you. Click on the link below and get it now.